What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the DIY Marketing School podcast. I am your host, Melanie Diane Howe, and in this episode, I'm going to be describing the difference between live video and pre-recorded video and why you should consider both as part of your content strategy. Let's do it. Oh, my friends, this is going to be a great episode. I just got done talking about this actually on a live stream. And I'll be honest with you, I've never talked about this on the podcast, and I don't even know why. I've talked a lot about, how much I love live video and how I just think it's so incredible when it comes to building relationships with people. And I'm going to unpack that a little bit further in this episode. So yeah, we're going to be describing the difference. So when I say we, that's not like there's multiple me's here right now. It's literally just me. I'm hanging out here in my studio. I'm not really sure why I just said that. It's actually something I think I say a lot when I'm live streaming because you feel like you're in a room full of people because you kind of are. You're in a virtual room with people. So anyways, I am going to be unpacking that. I'm going to be talking about why I absolutely love live video, but also why I do think that it's great to also have a blend of pre-recorded videos or just video content in your content strategy as well as live video. And I'm going to be describing the difference between those two and how they go together. So this applies to, especially if you have a YouTube channel, to be honest with you, probably more for those who have a YouTube channel than those of you that are maybe, creating reels and Instagram lives, or, you're just on Facebook. I really think that YouTube is a great place for all of us to be spending time, especially those of us that are in any kind of world or industry where we are educating or teaching or we're launching online products or selling online courses or coaching programs, whatever that might be. I absolutely believe that YouTube is a great place where you should be spending your time creating content. It is a search engine. People are researching how to do things. So if your content strategy includes a lot of education, inspiration, how-to videos, whether it be tutorials or whether it even just be you physically showing how to do things, YouTube is a place where you need to be focused and paying attention to if you're not already. Well, before we get started, I got to say, there's a lot of you that are new to this podcast. So welcome to the show. Super honored to have you here. As I said in the intro, my name is Melanie Diane Howe. Everybody just calls me Mel. It's a lot easier. So if you're new, then hello, I'm Mel. And I'm a live streaming coach and mentor. I love to help people really honestly just put themselves out there using social media. And I love live video. So if you are new to the show, you have not maybe heard me go on and on about that, but maybe you saw me in somebody else's show or another podcast, and that's why you're here. So let's do this. Let's get started. So before I go into, what the differences are and why I think that we need both live video and pre-recorded video, I want to break down the differences. So a pre-recorded video might be a video that you essentially sit down and you record various clips. You might put some editing together for it. You might add some audio, some voiceover, or send it to your editor to put together. This would be uploaded to YouTube or wherever your social media platforms are, or even uploaded to your website, or heck, even uploaded to a course or something, right? Now, there's other types of video where you might just pre-record something, not do any editing. Essentially, the difference between a pre-recorded video and a live video is just that. The live video is truly live. You are delivering the content live. It is going live on the platform as you are recording. So a pre-recorded is just simply just something you do ahead of time and you upload the video. Sometimes we call these uploads versus streams as another kind of thing you hear in the tech space. So as I said, a live video is where you're either using a platform like StreamYard to stream out your live video broadcast using, being able to do overlays and, sharing your screen and having guests. StreamYard is by far my platform of choice for that. You can learn about that in the show notes. I've got a link in there about StreamYard. Or you might be native on the social media platform. You might just be on Facebook, open Facebook up, and you say, I'm ready to create a live video, and you click go live, and you're delivering a live video. Instagram, you can do this. TikTok, you can do this now. You can do this on YouTube as long as you qualify. You can can do this on LinkedIn as long as you basically say you want to be approved for live LinkedIn Live and they say, okay, great, and they unlock the feature for you. You can even go live on Amazon if you are an Amazon influencer and you have applied to do that and they've approved it. We're seeing live video show up in more and more places outside of just your traditional social media. So, I mean, heck, you can even create live experience on Twitter. So, Facebook and YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram are by far probably the more popular areas. And then, of course, now TikTok, where you can create these live videos. So a pre-recorded video might be anywhere from a 5-minute video to a 60-minute video, just depending on what your pre-recorded video is about. A lot of people repurpose webinars or interviews that they do. Those tend to be a little bit longer in regards to those uploads. But, shorter uploads do tend to perform better. Now, I'm not talking short form content like reels or, stories or the TikToks that we see. There is a difference. There is a whole nother world of short form video. Those are just really quick, short. As I mentioned, a lot of them are reels or the TikToks and things like that. So if you're creating those, then there you go. So those are essentially how I break video up into the 3 categories. So you have pre-recorded video, live video, and then we have the short form video as well. Now, I think all of these in the right mix will create a very effective strategy. Personally, I really do believe that. And I'm going to give you the 3 purposes I think that we should be thinking about these types of videos. So, and the reason I wanted to record this episode is because I do believe that there's a lot of people that are really comfortable with pre-recorded videos and they're not doing any live videos, or even the other way around. There's a lot of people that they're just really comfortable creating live videos and they don't necessarily do pre-recorded videos because they hate editing and whatnot. Ding, ding, ding. That's kind of me. And then of course the short form, there's actually a lot of people that are just focused on short form videos. And so I actually am really starting to see some really cool strategies out there, and also really do believe that when you use all 3 of these in the right ways, you can just go all in when it comes to your video marketing. So, short form video in my view is really to attract. It's, these videos can go quote unquote viral. There's a lot of definitions for viral. If you have a small following, if you get a few thousand views on a short video, that's fairly viral for you. But you can absolutely get up into the hundreds of thousands of views if you hit that formula just right. I am not a viral video specialist by any means. Actually thinking about having one of those on the show. So stay tuned for that because that is something that is coming. It's coming out. It's important to focus on. So these short videos are just quick, punchy. They tend to, you follow a template. Sometimes you don't even use your own voice in them. The reels, the TikToks, those things, even stories, and then YouTube shorts as well. There's short form video on almost all the social media platforms at this point. I believe these are to attract people, bring a new audience to you because of the nature and how the algorithms tend to share these types of videos. I mean, I log into Facebook and I scrolled down past like 3 posts in my newsfeed, and there is a queue of these short form videos for me to watch. And they get me almost every time. I'm always like, oh, what's happening in this video? And then, I want to hear the sound. So then I click it. I don't follow any of these people. I don't think I've ever even seen one in my Facebook feed that's somebody that I actually follow. Right. And so, so this happens with TikTok. This happens with Instagram as well. You're being this content is being delivered to you. It's great if you think about, wow, what's this potential of just getting all these views on these videos is great. But how much can you really serve somebody in that short form video? So you need to look at these videos as it's kind of like mass marketing. It's kind of like just a bunch of short advertisements getting plastered all over the place and blasted everywhere. And it's kind of like throwing a bunch of darts at the wall, and you hope a few stick with the right people. So keep in mind that you might attract people that don't necessarily care at all about your passions and what your content is really about. So always keep that in mind. and make sure that your profiles are optimized in a way where when they do discover you through one of these, that they can make that decision quickly. You don't want them to become a follower or stick around if they're not aligned with you. And so, just make sure that your profile makes it quick and easy to see what it is you really do. Because a lot of these videos, these short form videos, people are making them and they're being entertaining and they're funny and they're this and they're that, but they have nothing to do with your actual business, right? Or your objectives of how you're using content online. So those are the things to think about when it comes to that short form. So you're attracting people, maybe getting some new audience members, but the percentage of conversion there is it's really pretty much dictated on what are your shorts and your short form videos about. Next, let's talk about the pre-recorded videos. So over in the YouTube world, these are called videos on demand or VODs, VOD. But again, we already defined what pre-recorded video is. I believe these are also used to attract new audience members or new followers. But they also should have a focus of educating and serving. So what is it? What are the nooks and crannies of what you do? How can you educate? How can you serve? Maybe they're inspirational videos, maybe they're educational videos, maybe they're tutorials, whatnot. As I mentioned earlier. But the reason why I do believe that these attract is because, especially over on YouTube, people are searching how to do things, and they may come and discover your video that does exactly that. It solves the problem. It answers the question that they were researching. It gives them what they were looking for, and they will find it because that search and the way that the search works, these platforms want to provide quality content. And so the search can happen on Google. The search can happen right in the platforms. And so these are the videos that probably are going to help someone make a quick connection to you of, wow, really like this. This was super helpful. Exactly what I needed. What else does this person do? And so that same kind of concept that I described with the short form video is going to happen here as well. So again, making sure that you are optimized on these platforms so that somebody can quickly look around, get a glimpse of who you are, what you do, and make a decision about whether or not they want to subscribe and follow you, and all the other things that come down the pike. So that's kind of that. Now, let's talk about live video. Live video is not necessarily built to attract. And the reason for that is because when someone is searching how to do something, okay, they absolutely may discover your live video, but live videos do tend to be longer in nature. And so when somebody's searching, how to design an overlay in Canva, a graphic overlay for their videos in Canva, they're going to be delivered a few options about, the videos they can watch. And if your live video happens to be one of those that shows up in the mix, then they're probably going to have a couple of other options that most likely are going to be much shorter. So if you go live and you talk about designing overlays in Canva, you're probably answering questions, talking to your audience, taking a little longer. The tutorial's not edited, so there's nothing cut out of it. You are live. So it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to longer versus, I could probably create a tutorial for Canva. Actually, I have a tutorial for Canva where I did this on Canva's YouTube channel, actually, now that I literally say that out loud. And I think the video in total was about 7 minutes total. I described what an overlay was, I described why they're great, and then I showed how to design them and export them in Canva. So when you see, hey, how do you do this? And you see a 40-minute live stream replay versus a 7-minute tutorial, which one are you going to pick? You're not going to pick the live stream unless it's somebody that you have seen before or want to follow or already follow and just enjoy their videos and you're entertained by them. So, think about that. They're probably going to pick the shorter one. So these shorter tutorials, these shorter videos, these videos on demand will attract people and they will help them find you. The live videos, not so much. People are probably not going to select your live video, even though it does serve the same purpose and educates and teaches them how to do something. So don't be thinking about live video that way. If you have something that you want to teach somebody how to do and it's quick and simple, make a pre-recorded video of it. Doesn't mean you can't talk about it on a live. Just know that the live video has a different objective. So the way I feel that live video serves is to nurture, to build relationships, and to gain trust. So imagine somebody found a short form video out there, you being funny and entertaining about doing something. Then they found your YouTube channel, they found an educational video. They're like, ooh, that's really cool. I'm going to follow this person. I'm going to subscribe to their channel. I want to hang out with this person. And then the next week, you go live. You're live on video, hanging out, talking about the things you talk about, and they are there with you. They get to comment on your video. You see the comment. You might display the comment if you're using one of those platforms like I mentioned earlier, like StreamYard, and you're going to answer their question. You're going to say their name, and you're going to answer their question. They are going to feel such a connection to you because they literally, essentially just had a conversation with you. So, a comment on a pre-recorded video is great. You might reply to that comment, but it does not have the same spark whatsoever. It just doesn't. If you're live and you're commenting or they're commenting and you literally right in the moment, they can see exactly how you responded to them and hear exactly how you responded to them. And it's going to feel much deeper and much more connected. And so that's why I say it's about building those relationships. Those people will keep coming back for more, and you will get to know your audience. You will actually get to know their names. You might even learn more about their problems or their businesses or whatever it is that they tell you about in their comments. And you are going to literally remember them. You're going to know them. And they are going to trust you, which is why they're going to keep coming back for more. So then when you release a pre-recorded video 3 weeks later or whatever it is about something else, and they've been hanging out with you, as I like to say, online in the live streams, then you release that video, how much more likely are they to click on it and watch it? They are so much more likely than they were before because they know you now, right? And of course, when it comes time to promote something or sell something, they know you, they trust you, you know their name, they know that you've already taken care of them. They are that much more confident in enrolling or converting or downloading your lead magnet or whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do. And so, yes, you can build relationships and nurture people in comments, but it is different. It is just so different on, pre-recorded videos or even just static posts, which is really just you making a post with an image, no video whatsoever. So as I said, I kind of built that out for you. Imagine they find you somehow online. You give them what they need. You answer their problem. You answer their question. But then if they get to hang out with you while you're live, it just builds a completely different type of connection. I have experienced this very much so in my own content on my own channel, especially on YouTube. So I used to just go live on Facebook and mostly in my private Facebook group, which is all for anyone who's doing their own marketing. So if you're marketing for yourself or for someone else and you're learning how to do it DIY style, that's essentially who's in this group. A bunch of entrepreneurs, a bunch of small business owners, and a bunch of thought leaders and marketers. DIY style, that's us, right? I'll have a link to that in the show notes for sure. But I used to pretty much only go live there because I was really trying to find a way to create exclusive content for my community so that they felt like they were there for a reason. But then I started multi-streaming. So when I started multi-streaming, I was like, well, heck, I've got this awesome platform. And the original reason I wanted to multi-stream was because I wanted to go live on my Facebook page and in my Facebook group at the same time, because I was finding that I had kind of abandoned my Facebook page because I was paying all this attention to the group. So I decided there's a few times I have these streams where I have special guests or whatever. I don't want to have my guest do 2 streams. So I decided to start multi-streaming. And once I realized how easy that was and that StreamYard would allow me to also stream to YouTube, I was like, why not stream to YouTube? So I turned on that feature in YouTube and I started multi-streaming to YouTube. And what quickly happened is that, for one, people started coming. There is something different over on YouTube when it comes to video content. I mean, it is a video platform. It makes sense, right? So I just started to find that the audience on YouTube was even more engaged than this audience I had been building for years that I found pretty loyal and pretty engaged. They just, quite frankly, the YouTubers were just much more engaged. They were more accustomed to engaging on video. And so I started building these amazing relationships over there. And I also started to just notice that some of the people who were part of my Facebook group were also they were on YouTube too. So a lot of them actually started to prefer to watch over on YouTube. And so then I started creating more tutorial live streams and videos, pre-recorded videos. And my channel started to grow a lot faster than before when I was just kind of creating little bits of content and whatnot. So I started using a lot of these strategies together and mixing them and using them in the formula that I described. Now, I don't really focus so much on short form video at this time, but that's probably going to change. Either way, I just wanted to share how I've been able to build this amazing community online. And it's not even quote unquote a community, meaning it's not like a Facebook group or a Mighty Networks or whatnot. It's a community of people who follow my channel. It's a community of people who follow me on my own channel, but also some of my peers. And so, I'm a guest in a lot of shows and they hang out with me over there too. And that's the crazy thing, is that people will discover me on somebody else's show, and then they realize, oh, I can hang out with her on her own channel. And so they come over to my channel and they subscribe. And I wouldn't get that same response in a pre-recorded video per se. Now, it's possible, but I want you to really think about the videos in these 3 categories that I described. But I really want you to think about your live videos as about building relationships and getting to hang out with your audience. And so again, if they can hang out with you, they're going to start to trust you. And if they stick around, they're going to start to trust you and eventually, hopefully, buy from you, advocate for you, share whatever they can do. But let's talk about how maybe some people will watch your live videos and maybe they decide, ooh, maybe she's not a good fit for me. Because maybe you did a video that, you did a pre-recorded video and it was like super awesome and they loved it and it was super helpful and they just totally answered their question. But then they go and hang out with a couple of your live videos and they're like, I just don't like her style or the way her voice sounds or whatever, it could be anything, right? That's okay. I want you to take a deep breath and understand that it's completely okay. Because the reason I wanted to share this is because I do talk with a lot of people, either in my coaching program for my live video bootcamp or just, when I am coaching somebody even one-on-one. And often they are avoiding live video or afraid to do live video because they're afraid of making mistakes, or they don't feel like they can be as polished, or they're nervous that people aren't going to like them, quite frankly. And I want you to know that, one, live video is not supposed to be polished. It can be, but it's supposed to be raw and real. It's meant to be. It's in the moment. It's hanging out, right? And if someone does hang out with you and they decide you're just not quite the right fit for them, then you have done the right thing. Because imagine if they had, on a whim, enrolled in your program and all of a sudden now they have to work with you. And they realize after they've already given you their money that you're not a good fit for them. Imagine how they'll feel then versus just if they get to just politely unsubscribe or unfollow you, right? And so I want you to understand that the building relationship part actually has a polarizing effect. And so you are attracting people, you're building those relationships and letting those people decide to stick around. But then you're also letting the people who are deciding that maybe you don't fit their filter to exit the room. And that's okay. And you need to be okay with that, because I don't want you to take it personal. It's just merely a difference in values or a difference in style. It could be so many things. And there are so many people in this world out there that are a good fit for you and that you're a good fit for them. And so the more you create this content, this raw, real, polarizing style of content in live video, the better and more engaged and nurtured and, quite frankly, more intimate your audience is going to be. And so it's going to be fantastic. People have come and gone in my community for years. There are people that I remember used to be around that aren't around anymore. There's new people that come around. They hang out for a while and they leave. Then there's people that have been around since the beginning that are still here hanging out. And it's not just my friends around the corner, right? And it's a beautiful thing. And your audience is going to become a mix of all of that. And people go through seasons in their life. Maybe they needed you for a while, but then they don't need what it is that you do anymore. So you can't take this personally when you get somebody who unsubscribes or unfollows or any of those things. But when you create that polarizing content, you are pruning your audience and it's becoming that much more enriched. Okay, I literally could keep going on a tangent. Y'all know why I love live video. I love it because I love that whole thing I just went through. But, I think hopefully now that you've heard this, you understand that these 3 formats, short form, pre-recorded and live video have really different objectives. And so when you're creating this content, creating your content strategy, I want you to be thinking about that. How can you use short form video or even pre-recorded videos to attract new audience members? How can you use the pre-recorded videos to educate and to serve? By the way, you can totally educate with short form video. You just have to be really quick and really punchy. And that content has to be something that you can literally share in 30 seconds, right? It can be done. But the whole premise is that pre-recorded video is meant to educate and to serve. And then live video is really meant to nurture those people who have come into your world from maybe those other formats or even from other situations. Nurture them, build the relationships with them, and gain trust, meaning you are gaining their trust in you because you are being real, you're being raw and authentic, which live video is the most authentic type of content you can create. And then also you're polarizing, you're creating this polarizing content, which is allowing you to prune your audience. Because again, some of those people that landed in your world because of the short form or the pre-recorded video may not necessarily be the right fit to stick around. And when you create this polarizing live video type of content, you're pruning the audience, which is what we want to do. That is absolutely one of the bottom line goals that we want to be able to create. So hopefully you now can kind of look through this and think about it and think, okay, I am going to start creating short form video because I want to see who I can attract. And then also maybe you are thinking, oh, I've been doing all these pre-recorded videos, these uploads. I think I'm going to start doing live video now. And I've got a lot of other podcast episodes, of course, about live video. And, I go live every single week over on my own YouTube channel, as I mentioned, inside the Facebook group. And mostly I talk about live video and ways to up-level your live videos and to do those things. So if that's you and you're kind of now thinking, oh man, I've been missing out, I want to build these relationships like Mel said, then come hang out with us over there in the group or, of course, on the YouTube channel at Melanie Diane. Obviously, there will be a link to that in the show notes, of course, for you to come hang out and let me know that you're new. When you pop in and you find a live stream and I'm live and you're there, let me know that you're new. I love welcoming new people over to that world so that I can give you the proper welcome and hopefully inspire you and motivate you to go create amazing live videos so that you can be polarizing as well. So that's all I had for you on this episode today. Thank you again for sticking around. Definitely had a lot of fun talking about this. It's a topic I'm pretty passionate about. And I just appreciate the fact that we have these pieces of technology like StreamYard and even Canva and other tools where we can be creating this. Growing up, I never saw myself as a video person. I would say even 10 years ago, I never saw myself as a video person. But I look at some of the things I'm able to create now using these easy, awesome apps, and I'm just like, dang, everyone can create video now. It's kind of like how Instagram made everybody a photographer, quote unquote. I'm just air quotes. I love my photographer friends. I know it's not the same, but y'all know what I mean, right? Y'all know what I mean. So anyways, use these apps, do it, make it happen, create the videos because video is where it's at. It is where it's at. It's where it's going. It's sticking around to stay, and it's how you can really stick out and stand out in this busy, busy online world. All right, my friends, thanks for being here, and make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast if you're just hanging out for this one episode, if you liked it and want to hear a little bit more. And also, I don't usually ask for this, but if you have been a listener of the podcast and you're loving it, do me a huge favor. This would be my ask to you. Grab that app where you're listening and do a quick review for me. Just put a little review in there. Give me those 5 stars. Tell me how much you love it. And I love it. It just helps me, gives me the feedback, and of course, helps this podcast grow and reach more people. So, all right, everybody, that's what I got. Go have a great day. I'll see y'all later.